Hey all, I wanted to do a short video here to recap week one and then to introduce you to kind of the outline of what we're going to be doing in week two to get us started on the right foot. Now, I realize we hit the ground pretty hard given that this is probably your first tech class and then your first assignment was to create a website, but I hope you found that it was super easy. And the one thing that I do want I want everybody to understand is that my goal is to leave you better than when I got you. And so independent and individual improvement is important to me. And I don't necessarily judge you as a class as a whole. Yes, I do have grading and I do have criteria, but really I'm just here to help you be a better teacher in the sense of the effective integration of technology. So, keep communicating with me, your struggles. I love the way you're using the forums and working with each other. It's exactly what I wanted. So keep doing it and keep it up. You'll find as we go throughout now, it'll kind of level off and get into a pattern. We just had to get that website created so that we could begin working on fine-tuning it. So that's good for week two. Another thing, or for week one, another thing I wanted to make sure, I send out announcements frequently. So please make sure if you aren't subscribed to that forum that you are getting notifications of the announcements that I send out, because I do kind of, if I see somebody's having trouble or something's going on, I do use that to communicate to the whole class. All right, week two. Week two, we're going to look at learning theories, which, given the nerd that I am, I love learning theories. You know, if you learn how people learn, then you'll know how to teach people to learn. And so learning theories, I think, are a very valuable piece of knowledge for educators to have. That's kind of the content that you'll be working with in your text. Now I want to talk a little bit about the summative assessment pieces. You have 3 total for this course. You have your Weebly website, you have your philosophy paper, and the third one is your TPAC plan. TPAC will be introduced to you during week 2. It is a model or a framework, how to think about integrating technology so that it is effective and useful for what it is you want it to be useful for. TPAC stands for technological, pedagogical, and content knowledge. It's 3 types of knowledge necessary to ensure that you're integrating technology in the most effective way. So we'll introduce that this week. For your Weebly website, you're going to kind of, I got like little helpful and hints and guides on web page design, because you don't want it too busy, but you don't want it too plain. And so really the focus this week will be on the home page. Don't worry about any of the other pages. This is a progressive paced throughout the entire course activities that you don't have to do until the very last week if you don't want to. I don't suggest that you do it that way. I'll also explain to you how to add pictures and links as well. As far as your blog post, which will ultimately lead to your philosophy paper, and I do want you to think about it in that aspect. When you're writing your blog post, it's kind of like a pre-draft for your draft, or the free write before you edit your free write to become your paper. So it's not just another assignment. It is in preparation so that in the end, in the last week of school or our class, you're not struggling to get all these 3 major projects done, but you've really worked on them along the way, and that last week you just fine-tune them and turn them in. One thing about your blog post, in week 1, you should have chosen a metaphor, and I will provide feedback to you on that. Remember, a metaphor compares one thing to a next. So make sure you can say, I view teaching and learning, the teacher is like a blank, and then you have a noun or an activity or something that you compare it to. For week two's blog post, you're going to kind of think about the learning theories that you've read about in your text and then kind of apply that to your metaphor. So make sure you have a strong metaphor that you believe in upon which to base the rest of your philosophy. Now, so that takes care of the 3 summative assessments. We're going to intro the TPAC plan, continue working through some things on the Weebly design, and then blogging and getting ready to talk about how we view learning and how does it occur through our knowledge of learning theories. Each week you're going to have a technology project. This week you're going to create a PowerPoint. The description and criteria are there. There is kind of a side technology project this week, and that's your live text. I think you've learned about that in a prior course. It's required by the teaching program. They haven't really told me much about it, but I am to require you to practice it. And so that live text assignment won't be due until week 4. It's nothing you have to do for this particular week, but we do need to get it done in order to fulfill the department's requirements. And finally, a new activity you'll be starting this week is called the Teacher Toolbox. These are kind of like press releases where you go and find a particular web-based program that you think you will use in your classroom, and then you're going to report to us and share with me and your classmates, so maybe we can all benefit from what you found, and maybe we could use it too in our classroom. As always, you'll have your lesson activity, and it corresponds with your book in Chapter 2. Okay, that's kind of a heads up as to what's coming this week. I am going to keep the book format for this week. I don't want to get rid of it just yet. I knew week 1 it would be a little touchy. Let's see how week 2 goes. Notify me if there's links that you're not able to access. And then we'll make a judgment call on how this rolls out for the rest of the term. And other than that, good luck, and please don't, contact me if you need me. I'm here for you.